Before we dive into the video, I've got to show you guys something that will absolutely blow your minds. So, if you didn't know, and I froze that one super miner just to show you guys, and I raged the Warden because of the health decrease of the Warden in the modifiers, one miner, the Warden was full health. One super miner will automatically send your Warden to ability. Keep in mind the health recovery that you get from the Warden when he goes to ability is 272, which means if your Warden even has like a sliver of his health gone, but when that super miner explodes, he will die. What the heck? That's freaking crazy. Well, let's get into the video. 𝗪𝗓𝗫𝗧 here has been absolutely dominating with the Yeti Furnace Rocket Loon army. He's got his take of it, right? He's changed the army a little bit, and he's changed the way that you do the attack a little bit as well. Now, when I say dominating, he has averaged plus 273 this entire season. And you might not see, that might not seem like dominating, right? But I've got some statistics here actually off screen. Let me just pull them up real quick. 𝗪𝗓𝗫𝗧, right? He was finishing in the top 20 for a little bit. He is averaging 276, and Yada from Na'vi is averaging 277 this season. So 273 is on par with some of the best professional players in the game. So he's crushing it. Now, what we're doing is obviously we're going to set a funnel on one side of the base with a fireball. And you're going to see, we're going to talk about fireball value and stuff during the base. Obviously on this base, it makes sense to fireball the core, right? One, you're going to clear a whole bunch of scary defenses and a spell tower. And then two, it sets a fantastic funnel. And there's a lot of emphasis that's going to go into setting the funnel today that I'm going to talk about. And, okay, so let's go ahead and, dude, he's got the new Warden skin. Dude, this thing reminds me of like that, goofy nature wizard from The Hobbit. I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about. That's what he looks like. Anyway, he uses an overgrowth here to help his fireball. Now, I don't really know if I agree or disagree with that. He makes a couple of changes after this attack into the rest. After this, he has the Spirit Fox on his king to help delay the ability, and then the Phoenix on the Royal Champion, just so that he doesn't have to multitask and pay attention to her. So those are some changes that he makes. Also, I don't remember him having an overgrowth spell. I think he takes a revive after this. So the army's basically going to be used the same, but this is one of the attacks that he did today. He shared with me all of his attacks. I won't show two of them because they were the same base that he had hit twice. So it didn't really, help a whole lot. Now on this base, he uses a log launcher. One, because it will help set the funnel for the heroes on that side, but two, there are not a lot of defenses in this area that are going to be able to stop the log launcher, right? Like, it got pretty good value. So it did its job. He used the log launcher to force the king and the queen into the core, where he used the king ability. And then he will use the royal champion over here to help relieve the back end of the base so it's not so scary for the other heroes once they get there. And he's going to invest his invisibility spells here, and then the rocket spear and the totem spells to help distract everything while they all kind of converge on this bottom section of the base. This one, now, I think he ends with all four heroes alive. Oh no, his king's dead. But this is crushed, right? I mean, he still has his royal champion alive. She's just there in like the most dangerous part of the base for basically 30 seconds or so now and just still lived. Okay, maybe she'll die right here. No, okay, never mind. Crushed. We're going to look through, he actually was fortunate enough to get a wide variety of bases today that are very common in Legend League. So we're going to be taking a look at all of them. So this is base number 1. Let's dive into hit number 2. All right, this has been a base that's kind of becoming more popular. I'm starting to see it pop up a little bit more in Legend League. It's got another heavy core, right? So you still want to fireball the core here. I'm just going to ×4 while I get through this. So typically the way he's doing this attack is he'll put the Warden down with a couple of furnaces to help speed this part of the attack up. Set a better funnel, right? The furnaces always do that. And then he'll recall and put the last 2 furnaces with his Warden where he recalls his Warden to. He will try to find value with a Flame Flinger if he can, investing a couple of Rocket Loons or a Totem Spell. The Rocket Loons, if the defenses that outrange the Flame Flinger, are on the outside of the base, but if the defense is on the inside of the base that outranges the Flame Flinger, or kind of like this Expo here, he'll use a Totem Spell in order to tank for that. Okay, so we're going to launch our fireball to the core here. I think he just hits the bomb hive here. I watched this just barely so I could kind of know what I'm talking about when I'm watching this, but I can't remember what fireball target he picked. Let's just go ahead and speed up to this part of the attack. Yeah, you can see him getting ready for the fireball here. Okay, there's a totem spell for the flame flinger over there. Probably after this launch the fireball. Okay, so keep in mind, he's a minute and 15 seconds into the raid right now, and he still has not launched his fireball or placed his heroes down. There he goes. He'll probably recall the warden here if I had to guess, because the funnel's set for the heroes. You'll notice one thing that he's doing is always putting his heroes in between where the warden and the siege machine have kind of set the funnel. Now, I'm almost positive he recalled here. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, he puts the heroes there. Is he expecting his warden to go up? Normally, you don't want them to all walk together. Maybe he recalled. Okay, there he goes. So, okay, so he let the warden get a little bit more value. These archers will never kill that totem spell. It's basically invincible at this point. Okay, and then because the funnel's a little bit wider than it normally is, he's going to use the Yetis and the Royal Champion to help finish the funnel so that the king can get close enough to these walls and open the walls to the town hall for the queen. But if you didn't know, oftentimes the spiky ball, if you're very quick about it, will finish off the town hall, and you don't have to worry about it got healed up here, otherwise it would have. But we're gonna watch this attack finish up. So if you're quick about getting your spiky ball to the town hall, it'll actually finish it off, because the earthquake with the two earthquakes with the fireball and the spiky ball do kill the town hall. So we set the funnel there. Obviously, he used something over to the left hand side to draw that poison, which is smart. And then he still has a totem spell that he just barely used by that revenge tower. And by the way, if you're leaving the revenge tower for the end, you almost have to either have overkilled the base or saved a spell to deal with the revenge tower specifically, because it will wreck all of your heroes. It is so freaking good. All right, there we go. Let's go into attack number 3. Okay, he put this one, and he failed this attack, and he put in the description that it kind of just caught him off guard, and he didn't really know how to deal with the base. It's a double rage base, but both rage sections are outside of any walls, so they're kind of exposed. And I think the base just caught him off guard, and he didn't really come up with a great plan. So we'll show the attack. We'll talk about maybe what he could have done to get this triple here. But yeah, let's get into the attack. So obviously here, he's just going to get like a really easy fireball. Man, the rage section itself, or even just like the sweeper, I think would have been a better target. You get some of the rage tower, but you also get the clan castle if you get the sweeper there. I don't know if that's the fireball that I would have gotten. Plus, it doesn't really finish off the funnel, so now he has to worry about this part of the base. So this, I think, is mistake number 1. He didn't really finish the funnel over here because there's buildings there with his warden. That's obviously a huge problem. Problem number 2 is he tries to send his heroes in this direction, and you've got so many buildings over here that you need to get through in order to funnel your king and queen to the core that, man, that is a tall order. That's a lot of heat that your heroes have to take. I think if I were to watch this attack and kind of redo it, I think I would have tried to use a couple of rocket loons and a totem spell over, on this side down here, but it's symmetrical, to set up the flame flinger to set the funnel here, and had your warden get a slightly better fireball, and then have the heroes enter from this side, and then deal with the rage section at the end, maybe with the Royal Champion and the Phoenix. And that's probably what I would have done. Because there's so much firepower over here, you shouldn't need to use as many spells and other resources to keep things alive, and you should be able to save those resources for that back-end rage section. So I think that's the mistake that he made here. We'll go ahead and ×2 through the rest of this attack. Unfortunately, because of the way things path and stuff, and now the town hall isn't a defense, he gets a 1-star. So this is the attack that he failed today, which is really unfortunate. And it had to be a 1-star. So rip 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗓. But yeah, I think the funnel is so important. You have to get the king and the queen to get to the core. There was just way too much on that side of the base, and like you were never going to be able to get them to the core. Wait, is this the guy that like finished number 1 with the super yetis that one time? Kratos? Is that him? Can't remember. Man, I said we would get different style bases, but I guess this is just what everybody does in High Legend League right now, is they just all packed, isolated town hall bases. Maybe that's why Na'Vi is switching from Meteor Golems to Dragon Totem. All right. This base, obviously, again, we're going to fireball the core here. On that last base, I didn't really maybe make it super clear why he should have fireballed there differently. He should have just fireballed to make sure the funnel was set. I think that should be the highest priority for the fireball is making sure the funnel's set. But obviously, you almost have to, if there's a Rage Invis core, fireball the core here. So we're going to use a Flame Flinger to set the funnel on the other side. This is a fantastic place to use a Flame Flinger too, right? He can just have it take out these buildings here and then tank for that expo with a totem. The funnel will be finished off over there. The Warden's obviously going to clear all of these buildings and a lot of the core, and then he can have his heroes dive kind of towards the Town Hall diagonally like this. And then he will, I mean, he's got a great path for his heroes to go get to the Town Hall. So, yeah, I really like this. Oh, man, that was freaking close. I always underestimate how much damage you can take, even if you have a hero that has a Headhunter on them, too. We need, like, a new level for Headhunters, Supercell. But anyway, we're going to come across here. We're going to start launching the fireball. Oh, it looks like he didn't place the totem, and so his Flame Flinger died. He was probably worried about watching his Warden here. That's probably what happened. Looks like he's trying to help get some of these buildings down so that he has enough, because he used one of his on his ward now, so he only has 3 left. So that's why he's using troops to deal with some of those buildings there. So he can use 2 on the left, 1 on the right, and then when he doesn't run out of invis spells, and he can still get the core. Is he trying to get the bomb hive? He might be trying to like get the fireball further into the core here. Okay, yeah, that's what he's going to do. So we are, let me pause right here. We're a minute and a half into this raid, and he has not launched his fireball. Holy. There we go. Okay. Will he recall or just finish this? Okay, he's just going to let his king and queen come from this left-hand side probably, if I had to guess. Yeah, okay. And this is where I think you'll see this spiky ball just probably finishes off the Town Hall. And, oh, that's so unfortunate. He didn't let the skeleton spell, like, spawn before he put the Royal Champion down. Yeah, make sure you... It's almost like the invis spell, right? You have to, like, let it activate for a split second before you, like... act on it, if that makes sense. So the spiky ball finishes off the Town Hall. The queen obviously still has her ability, and then he has a couple of totem spells left, so he still has a lot of power for that back end with the queen and the king over there. Has the king used his ability, right? But he snipes the enemy minion prince there. The rest of the CC comes out, but the warden is fine right now, and he still has the queen ability. So even though, man, he waited forever to do his... Oh, I guess it might not have been a minute and a half into the raid when he launched the fireball. I'll have to see how long the attack was to know exactly when he launched the fireball, but there's only a minute and a half left when he sent his heroes in, right? Less than that, actually. So this one is still even pretty crushed. That's wild. He had to invest a whole bunch of extra resources, let his Flame Flinger die, put his Royal Champion raid to a Revenge Tower that was all the way leveled up, and he's still going to finish this raid with all 4 heroes alive. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of nice that the Ice Golem just sat there punching this totem spell down here for the rest of the raid, too. I just checked that last replay because I was curious about the time. He had about 8 seconds left when he finished the raid. So, yeah, it was like over a minute and a half into the raid by the time he even launched his fireball. Okay, so when are we starting this one? Okay, so about 15 seconds left is what he ended this one at. So he's obviously just going to fireball a core here and just get rid of the Revenge Tower. 2 spell towers. He'll probably just let his warden get rid of the Town Hall as well and then recall. That would be... I would just fireball a core right now. Just invis the Archer Towers and just fireball a core while your warden's taking 5 years to deal with this long shot. I actually haven't watched this replay yet. Okay, that's what he ends up doing. Yeah, by the way, if you didn't... Oh, that's actually unfortunate. Well, okay, the only thing left is a sweeper, so that was still a really good fireball. I would rage my warden here. Oh, he doesn't have any rages anymore because he switched his army up. Yeah, let the warden deal with the Town Hall 100% and then recall him. Where is he putting his siege machine at, though? Okay, so he hasn't selected yet. Yeah, easy. And then I'd probably recall my ward so he doesn't have to deal with the fire spitter. Yep, perfect. Okay, so what do you do with your heroes here? Do you just set them on the opposite side of the base and just hope that they get value, or do you like just put them all together? It'll be interesting. We're all going to learn this together because I should have watched this replay beforehand, but I didn't. Oh, now he uses the Flame Flinger? That's... Dynamix, what are you doing? That'll still get good value, but he doesn't get it. Let it like it's not, one of the really good things about the Flame Flinger is it as it develops, it destroys a lot of the defenses that are really dangerous for your other heroes. So like you almost want it to work for a while before you put your king and your queen down. But yeah, he's just gonna go from there. I guess it set the funnel over there, right? That's really all he needed it to do. So he's gonna have his heroes go from the left side of the base while his warden's on the right side of the base. We'll probably save the Royal Champion for the back end where the clan castle is, if I had to guess. Maybe not. He can clean up a lot of the buildings on the top. Okay, he uses the king ability here. Obviously, since there's not really a core of the base anymore, you can kind of use your hero abilities wherever you need to. Gordon might die. Okay, nope, he's watching. Okay, yep, he does use the Royal Champion at the top to help alleviate the back end a little bit. Here comes the CC. And he still has a Yeti and a whole bunch of other resources and spells and stuff that he hasn't even used yet. So this one looks pretty crushed. He's got the Phoenix on the Royal Champion too, so even if she dies here, she'll get a rocket spear shots off, and you can always revive her, right? He did say, I think he likes the revive more than the overgrowth, which I know there's some revive haters out there, but that's what he's saying, and he's the one dominating, not me. But look at this, he still has 3 spells left. He finished this with like 15 seconds left too, which is like, that seems like it's pretty close, but for Legend League, like that, when I finished with 15 seconds left, I'm like, yeah, that's not even close. Yeah, look at that. Crushed. Nice. Nicely done. Oh, I guess he has 1 sweeper left. Invis the king. Nicely done. All right. I think we've got 1 more attack, maybe 2. Let's get into that. All right. Last raid. The other ones are all copycats of the bases we've already seen, which is, that's crazy that this is what Legend League is turning into. It's all packed, isolated town halls with crazy cores. That's what it is now. So, all right, let's fast forward until we launch the fireball or get to the Warden Walk part of this, right? Okay, so obviously on a base like this, you've got to fireball the core. There's just too much value there for you not to, right? You almost have to. If you don't fireball a core, you're going to struggle dealing with it. So that's the way to deal with it. He's going to put his flame flinger on the left over here. Now, this is something to note. He's just going to get 2 defenses, right? Because the minion prince is going to attack the flame flinger as soon as it's done with these 2 buildings. And he's happy with that. I guess he's happy with that much value for his flame flinger because he can use his heroes to kind of come in this direction where the rest of the defenses are. Pop his king ability like right here. Open up the walls so that they all have access to the town hall after that. And everybody's happy. So you don't need to get a ton of value with a flame flinger as long as it's setting a funnel for your heroes to get to the core, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make. We should be launching our fireball. Okay, here in just a second. Perfect. And then he'll probably recall the warden, set him somewhere else. He actually does. I've watched the replay. I don't know why I'm saying probably, because he does. He'll put him right behind the fire spitter up at the top, which is smart. That way you don't have to deal with the fire spitter. And then the flame flinger is going to go. Oh, I guess the flame flinger will get 1 more building because, yeah, I didn't realize the archer tower is there like that. But now it will die. And these Yetis will help finish off a couple more buildings just from the Yeti mites as they die. And then the heroes have a great path to have the king use his ability to get to the core. Now, I don't know about using a skeleton spell in front of a super wizard tower. I guess it works. Just trying to delay the king ability, which is why he's got the spirit fox on the king. I probably already said that, but that's the idea, right? You set the funnel with your fireball, finish it with your siege machine and your royal champion if you need to. Get your king and your queen to the core. That really is the name of the game of this attack. I really hope that I've made that point throughout these these replays. And yeah, you'll see the king pops an excellent earthquake boots and spiky ball right here, and pops the queen ability too. And Warden will actually step in range of the fire. Oh no, it's not the Gigabomb that kills him. It's all the other defenses. So the Warden does go down here, but that's okay. We still have the Royal Champion with the Phoenix on the bottom, a couple of totem spells and a revive. So this ends up being a fairly comfortable 3-star as well. But yeah, shout out to Dynamix. Thanks for sharing the replays with me. He is ending the day in the top 200 most of the time. So he's pretty high in Legend League. I think he's about 5,600 trophies right now. Maybe 5,550, somewhere right around there. But I see him in the top 200 quite a bit, actually. So shout out to him. He's having a great season so far, and he'll probably end the season, I would imagine, in the top 200. But thanks for sharing the replays. Hopefully you guys learned anything. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will answer them or have him answer them. But that will do it for the video. I'll see you guys next time.